Good morning. It's really good to be with you this morning. I'm Colin, or Laird, from Cornerstone Gilmerton. I had a great meal last night with you all, and my table all said that they could do this presentation. So please do come on up and help me along here. So I am very thankful to be able to share a little of our story about how God is at work in a little suburb of Edinburgh called Gilmerton. And as I think of Gilmerton, I always want to have before me those beautiful words which encapsulate so much of God's heart. For God so loved the world. The God we worship has a heart full of love for all people in all sorts of places. And I want his love to reshape my heart as I live on mission in my community. I'm going to use this. So this is me, and this is my little family. 7 years ago, I married Kat, and we have a little girl called Annie. Kat was an elementary teacher. She's taken a career break, and now she is training as an intern with Biblical Counselling UK, and she is supporting me as we begin our adventure into church planting. And so I thought I'd share a little bit of my story. How on earth does someone like me enter into Gilmerton and start a church plant with God's people? So I am a little country boy. And in 1996, this little country boy from the Isle of Skye came into Edinburgh. And what happens when country boys come to the city? Well, you can guess the rest. It was confused. It was ugly. I didn't know who I was or where I belonged. I wanted to belong with my church family, but I also wanted to belong with my college kid friends. And so I was half-hearted in both areas. I was a rubbish Christian, and I was a rubbish non-Christian, and I was miserable. That maybe not has changed, but there we are. But belonging has always been a bit of a struggle to me personally. Growing up on the Isle of Skye in the 80s, I was from a single-parent family, highly unusual. Only kid in the school with a mummy and no daddy. And so the church at the time really didn't know how to deal with a single-parent family. So we always felt a little bit that we didn't really belong amongst God's people. We didn't really belong in our community. And so we had that kind of struggle all the time going on in the background of my life. But by year 2 of college, God's gentle grace shone through. God gently reminded that I belonged to him. And as I plugged into the church reminded me that I belonged with them. And it was the most beautiful moment in my life. And it was that's really transformed how I view church culture. Church should be a place where those who are lost can come and be loved, can come and be heard, and can be patiently walked with. In time, I trained as a high school teacher for 15 years. I taught in Edinburgh. And then 6 years ago, I had the privilege of being invited by my local church, where I served as an elder, to become their associate pastor. So I was part of Cornerstone with Neil McMillan. And as a church, Cornerstone had always had this vision to be a church planting church. And in time, it became clear to us within the church that a new opportunity was coming our way. What was happening is we had young families. They started families, and Morningside, an affluent area, unaffordable, and so they were moving to the suburbs where I was living at the time. And so we had this growing group of about 20 people who had moved into our area. And so that little city group of 20 people became the seed from which this new church plant is going to grow. Now, Gilmerton is a great place to live. That's a bit of our community group. It's a great place to live. It's a very ordinary place. It's so ordinary that if you go to Google Images, it doesn't really have any pictures. So the best I can do is from real estate to get a picture of Gilmerton. It's a part of town which has traditionally been seen as a place synonymous with brokenness. It was a place where the mining industry was vibrant, but the mining industry collapsed. It became known for brokenness in all sorts of ways. But in the last 10 years, it's undergone rapid development. Builders have come and they've created this new suburb with about 2,000 homes. And in those beautiful fields, they're hoping to build another 4,000 homes in the years to come. But what's happened? They've built the homes, but they've not built the places for people to connect. And so what we found is that they've got a new home, but they don't have a place where they can belong. But that makes them open to participating in local community life in whatever form. But their greater need is not for community with their neighbors, it's for the gospel. Their greatest need is to be transformed by the gospel, because in our community, we worked out that 0.8% of people worship locally. It's tiny. And so our vision as Gilmerton Cornerstone is to create a church where everyone can belong, that reaches those who are far off with the gospel, that nurtures Christians, and which will become a church planting church. In February, we launched weekly services that center on the gospel, helping newcomers encounter Jesus and helping disciples grow in their faith. Over the year, our group has grown to around 25 local worshippers. And so in a community that is open to participating in community life and who desperately need the gospel, what we've sought to do is to run a number of different types of events in our community which help to give them their felt need so that we can engage them with the gospel, so that they can experience the hope that the gospel brings. And so what we have done over the last number of months is we've run various events in the summer. We had our community week. We had 25 children come as part of a VBS. But we don't want to stop with the children. And so we wanted to reach the parents also. So at the end of our VBS, we ran a pizza night. And we got the best pizza we could buy. And we had 86 people come to that event, 40 of whom had no church connection whatsoever. And they heard stories of hope through the gospel. But we can't just do it one-off events one time in the year. So we've tried to create a place where we are always slowly and doing little things in the community for the community so that we can reach them with the gospel. In the start of October, we had our autumn fair. 30 children and families arrived. We've got a monthly craft night, a book group. We run a fortnightly think and drink, which is run in the local pub. So we get guys coming there, and we discuss the big questions in life. How can I be happy? And so it's easy ways for the gospel to enter in and to begin to reshape their hearts and lives. Because everything we do must be a pathway towards Christ. Must be. And so we're very intentional in creating stepping stones towards Christ and towards church community. One of the key connections we've made is Anne. Anne came to us through a friend, and at that point in her life, she had just received a cancer diagnosis. And I asked her to write a little piece about her experience of church life. Through their friendship, I feel calmer and stronger. Nothing is too much for them. It is incredible to see them rally around. Some of the women stronger than any I've met before. The support and strength comes in many forms. It may just be a walk or a catch-up or coffee, but they welcome with open arms. Anne's become a Christian. It's amazing. Her life's been transformed. And she is active in all the different parts of community life you could imagine. It's been a beautiful journey for me to see and for us to see as a church community how deep relationships really enabled her to feel, to see, and experience the gospel firsthand. we would love you to partner with us, first in prayer. You know, we want to be a people that are deeply rooted in the gospel. We want to be a church plant that goes on mission towards our friends and neighbors. We have this incredible opportunity potentially coming up to purchase a base for mission, and we want to grow. So we have a worshiping community of 150 adults and children by the end of it. We are asking also for your help and partnership financially. We are needing to raise around 30,000 each year for the next 3 years. And so if we could get 3 partners, each giving $10,000 a year, that would be incredible for us and for the gospel in Gilmerton. 2 really exciting opportunities for the future that we hope will really spur on the gospel movement in Gilmerton. We are in the early stages of kind of discussing about purchasing a building. We really think having a base for worship and mission will really accelerate the gospel. It's a building in the community that's always been in the community, that's familiar to the community, and which the community believes to be safe and to be welcoming. And so we have that potentially, and that's likely to cost around $500,000. But we also want to reach deeper into the community. And in 2027, I would love for us to be able to take on staff, a part-time families worker, so that we can reach in deeper into the community of Gilmerton. And so thank you so much for listening. Please do come along to Gilmerton. It's only 20 minutes up the road on the 3 bus. I'll take you there after this, and you can see what's up there. So thank you once more. And I'll hand over to David, who will lead us next.